Shut up and sit down.
Hey, I'm Simon. Welcome to Nerd Safari, where we are going to talk about one of my favorite movies ever, and the first movie I ever watched with my wife, The Mummy from 1999.
The Mummy.
So I love this movie, but it nearly didn't happen as we know and love it. First of all, Leonardo DiCaprio was cast in the lead, and he was filming The Beach at the time, so he asked if he could delay The Beach so that he could come and film The Mummy. They said no, he had to pass on The Mummy, and The Beach got delayed anyway, so he kind of was out of luck. Hey, sorry Leo. So talking of things going wrong, first of all, Arnold Vosloo, who played the mummy himself, Imhotep, would absolutely freak out in the scenes where he had to be mummified. He was actually wrapped head to toe in bandages for 4 hours while they locked him in that sarcophagus. I can understand why he was scared. Now, talking of scary, Brendan Fraser nearly died in this movie in the scene where he was hung by the neck. Rachel Weisz, his co-star, said that he actually passed out, stopped breathing, and had to be resuscitated. Now that is some dedication to your cause, Brendan.
Any last requests, pig?
Yeah, loosen the knot and let me go.
Yeah, man! Of course we don't let him go!
Now, talking of a movie that almost became something very different, there were two areas where this movie nearly lost its PG-13 rating. You can probably guess the first one. When you see Patricia Velasquez's costume, it's mostly body paint, so they had to be really careful with the odd straps and piece of loincloth to try to cover up the goods to keep that PG-13 rating. Even more worrisome for them was the fact that when Evelyn is wearing the white nightgown on the boat and it becomes wet, it went completely see-through. So they actually had to digitally repaint the nightgown to make it white again to cover things up for that PG-13 rating.
You swim! If the occasion calls for it!
Trust me! It calls for it!
Brendan Fraser. Do you remember the last movie that we saw him in before The Mummy? Any guesses? Yeah, George of the Jungle, 1997, was the last movie that Brendan Fraser did before this. Now, Stephen Sommers, when he was casting The Mummy, decided that Brendan Fraser had that perfect blend of swashbuckling and humor, and he really didn't take himself too seriously, and it was felt that that was a much-needed quality in this character, because you can't go on a journey and adventure with someone unless you can really relate to them, and that's what Brendan Fraser brought more than anyone else to the role.
Are we going into battle?
There's something out there. Something underneath that sand.
Not everybody was so popular, though. There's an actor called Kevin J. O'Connor who plays a character called Benny, and you may remember a scene in the movie where Benny's loading a sack of gold onto the camel. The camels all hated him, and he literally could not get any of them to move. So anytime a camel's moving, that's because they had to get an animal trainer in to drag it along. They would not react to Benny at all.
Well, if it ain't my little buddy Benny, I think I'll kill you.
Think of my children.
You don't have any children.
Someday I might.
Shut up.
Now, I have two last pieces of trivia for you before you get this movie rolling and dig into your popcorn. Trivia piece number one is around Evelyn. So Evelyn used to have a backstory, and the backstory was that she was the niece of cursed Lord Carnarvon. Now, you may remember the name of Lord Carnarvon as the person who, in real history, funded the expedition that found King Tutankhamun's tomb and was reportedly cursed by his involvement with the opening of that tomb. So Evelyn was supposed to be his niece. The only reference to that left in the movie is when Evelyn mentions that her uncle was a very famous explorer. Now, the other piece of trivia that just blows my mind. So imagine this, you're an extra in this movie, you're just hanging out in the background, and there's a costume rental company called Angels, which comes from the United Kingdom, like me, and they give you a cloak. And you put the cloak on, you wear it around your scene. It was only discovered later that that cloak was made for Sir Alec Guinness in his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope movie. So an extra was wearing Obi-Wan Kenobi's cloak around the desert in The Mummy. Pretty cool, right? According to Stephen Sommers, Universal Studios called him up the morning after this movie premiered and said, "Stephen, we need another one." And we got another one. And then another one. And the Tom Cruise one. Maybe we got too many.
You have unleashed a creature that we have feared for more than 3,000 years.
But hey, they were right. This movie was a huge success. So, that's it from me. No more trivia. Go out there, watch The Mummy, have a blast. We will see you on the next Nerd Safari. I'm Simon. Peace out, guys.
Shut up and sit down.